Hello, everybody. Welcome to the arcade. Today we have a Twins showcase going on between X9 and the Lonely Moth. And we are going to see just how strong Twins is up against a coordinated team. And X9 is one of the most coordinated teams I can think of. Jaw getting tagged pretty quickly there on the Victor, though. And Moth is actually going to go pressure the other side of the map, just looking out around at the cross here. Is able to find a survivor here. Note, working the generator, is going to try to get the mind game off. Meanwhile, Victor is going to be crushed finally after the 10-second delay there, I believe. And Victor's going to be sent out once more. That is going to be... Ooh, clever use of the flashbang here. Actually going to lead to Moth missing the Victor pounce onto Note. Very good use there. And Jaw is healed up pretty quickly after shaking Victor off. Going to be greeting this pallet here, but that is going to be yet another tag onto Jaw, and now we'll have to see what Moth does in response. The Killer Instinct pointing out Jaw's location across the map. Victor is now recalled once more, and very interesting build that we see from Moth here, kind of similar to what we're used to on Twins with the Force Penance. Oh, kind of glitching out here on to the pallet, does not quite... Ooh, this might be a down though. Actually, it's going to be a forced locker, and with that drop pallet, this might be very hard for Moth to respond to. That is going to be some blind coming through from Wispy, but it does look like Moth is able to make it to Jaw in the locker in time. That is going to be a grab, and the first hook of the game here at 5 generators. Moth is going to take the hook here. That is going to be a Scourge hook, delaying those generators for the survivors. And we're going to send Victor out once more, being able to position away from the hook to where... Oh, we do actually find... Ooh, that is going to be the tag here onto Haunt. And now we see an injured survivor with Victor and 2 healthy survivors. But Moth also finds someone over here. Looks like Note was trying to work this bottom gen. Or is that Wispy? Either way, Moth is just committed to camping this out. Is going to be looking around with Victor. Trying to pressure with the strong chase power here. Victor going behind the shack. Looking for that survivor that we saw earlier. Does not find anyone though. It does look like Jaw's going to go second in response for some gen pressure. The survivors have yet to pop a generator, but that might be the second stage being confirmed now. Victor going to be confirming that, and that is going to be second stage. But Victor's going to be running up towards this generator. That generator has quite a bit of progress. Same with the topside generator. Ooh, does get the down onto Haunt through the pallet stun. And that is going to be the unhook onto Jaw as well. And now the survivors are trying to get the tunnel target away from the killer as fast as possible. Meanwhile, Haunt is down, and this is just going to be a lot of gen pressure off the board here. And one interesting thing to note is Moth has chosen to bring Thanatophobia, which, now that there are 2 injured survivors, is going to slow down some gen progress. That is going to be a kick, though, off the down. Moth going to be... swinging here, is probably not going to be able to make it in time with the 2 survivors there for the pickup. And X9 doing a very good job protecting Jaw here, not trying to get him killed. That is going to be the first penance though, coming through onto the tunnel out target. You can't exactly heal him. Ooh, trying to get a little bit of a fake out going. I apologize, my stream has frozen. Alright, there we go. But that is going to be... Yeah, it looks like Jaw did not go down. The survivors doing a really good job of being coordinated here, just preventing these downs. And that is going to be the first gen. Moth is going to send out Victor yet again. Victor coming through with the smoother animations, the smoother gameplay. That is going to be a down onto Jaw. The other survivors nowhere in sight in order to get that reset going. Meanwhile, Moth is just going to go over there and pick up his tunnel target. Is anyone nearby for a save, maybe? Actually, we're going to block the pallet here with Victor. We do actually see Wispy here in the shadows going to be coming for a save, and that's going to be yet another tag here with Victor, preventing that save from coming through. But Wispy's still in the area. Oh, another survivor was here! But the pallet save does not come through. Moth is going to swing and avoid any stun potential. Meanwhile, we do see those injuries coming through, but with Jaw dead, that Thanatophobia is not going to be able to be stacked up to full value. Another Victor is going to be sent out. Victor going to be looking around the top side here, looking for that reset, which is very crucial that the survivors get it off. The blood has been found, and we're going to be double lockering. Very smart play from the survivors, just saying you can take one of us, but you can't take us both. And we are going to see... Ooh, it looks like we're threatening a locker save. That is going to be an injury, though. But now we do see that gave enough room for Wispy to get out of there. That is going to be another gen popped across the map. Very good gen pressure from the survivors. We have 2 generators remaining in order for the exit gates to be powered. And Moth is just trying their best to get as much pressure going as possible. That is going to be Wispy forcing the locker yet again. Going to get Moth away from the objective and be forced to pull from the locker. And that just wastes so much time. The survivors are doing such a good job here. Yeah, even with the changes, it looks like X9 is not having any issues combating the playstyle of the twins. That is going to be a very crucial reset onto Haunt. But that is going to be Wispy hooked. No pain res, which is also interesting to note. We are actually going to find Note here injured because of the broken status effect from the Force Penance. And that is going to be a very quick down onto Note. And now we see that Note is downed by Victor, which is going to give us Killer Instinct if anyone tries to come near to get the pickup. And Moth is just trying to threaten this unhook as well as trying to find any survivors on any generators. Haunt must be very stealthy here in this situation. Might be crouched by Victor. Crouching does get rid of the Killer Instinct. And that might just throw Moth off. And I think Moth realizes that is going to be resetting Victor as well as taking a look around, making sure that no survivors are in the vicinity. And Note is very smartly crawling away from Victor, not going to try to deny that kind of information. However, with the second stage confirmed, Moth actually comes down here and gets the pickup onto Note and is going to probably hook him on that pain res hook. The pain res not used, though. I think that means that there's no progress on any generators at the moment. And right now, Wispy's still broken. That might be a second wind in play. They were resetting quite a bit. We do actually see some generator progress over here now, and Moth is forced to kind of leave that hook. That was a second wind, and it does look like we find Haunt here in the main building. Haunt is going to be going down to the back side of the building, but Moth is not going to commit in this M1 chase. Is instead going to probably, yep, we're going to swap to Victor and go back to the hook. We have the injured Note here. With that basic borrowed time is just going to be pressuring, and now Moth is in this tricky scenario where the survivors are jumping in lockers to deny the downs, and that means that Moth has to traverse so far across this map and just get that pull. That is going to be the pull here onto Note once more. One thing to note, I guess it wasn't there, but we do have Decisive Strike in play. I did hear that before the game. So that is something that Moth has to be very careful about. Moth does find the healthy Haunt here at this Ormond Tile generator. Is going to try to get a tag. That is going to be a tag here. And that is going to be a pickup here onto the hook. Note now in mending. Haunt has Victor on his back. 2 survivors injured, and Wispy now in chase with Charlotte here. Moth is going to send out Victor, though. The amount of access to Victor is just super huge here. He's going to actually just threaten the generator with Victor's presence. Is not actually going to commit until he's close enough in order to get some better pressure off. Is going to be running towards the top side of the map, and that is where Haunt has chosen to die, right here in the corner, just away from everything, it seems. Meanwhile, a very valuable reset coming through from X9. X9 just doing an amazing job here of just being super coordinated. And while the gen progress is still just ticking away and is very hard to grab due to that thanatophobia value, the survivors are doing a very good job of just pressuring Moth constantly. That is going to be Killer Instinct over here on the generators. However, we are instead going to commit to the top side of the map here. The chase is going to be underway. I don't believe that we have a pallet here. Instead, our survivors just going to be running towards the edge map, picking up Haunt. The swing actually missing Haunt, buying so much time for our generator, for the generator on the bottom side of the map to be done. We're waiting out. Maybe he's scared of some sort of endurance perk here, but that is going to be a down onto Haunt, and we're finally going to be picking and carrying towards the middle of the map. This could be a pain res, though. That is going to be a pain res on the bottom side of the map. The generator is going to be kicked here, and that's just regression stacking. We do see that Moth is going to send Victor out towards the bottom side of the map. They're still going to be pressuring this unhook. Actually swaps back, even though the unhook came through, just to get the injury here onto Note. Note is now infected with Victor on their back for the foreseeable future. And now we're just getting lots of tags, feeding that thanatophobia, getting that value off, as well as the fact that Victor is out so much, so frequently compared to old twins. Like, we're just seeing injuries and downs left and right with this power. That is going to be yet another down onto Haunt here at the main building. And now Moth is sending Victor down towards the bottom side of the map. Not going to find any survivor in the vicinity. Is going to leave Victor down there, though, and get the pickup onto Haunt. This could be a down. That is going to be a tag, though. And Haunt is finally going to be picked up here. And we're going to have to see what Moth does in the meantime. I apologize, my Discord stream paused yet again. We are going to see Victor out once more. Going to be pressuring this bottom side generator. The survivors are scrambling to get it completed. They're playing this game really slow. Almost reminiscent of a Ghostface set in a way. Or a Plague set, maybe. But that is going to be Nia playing the shack. They don't have the pallet here. Is going to try to actually force a locker pull, but instead, Moth is just going to leave Victor down there and actually gets the tag onto Note. Very good patience from Moth, just not going for the grab right away. Is going to get that injury. But now we see Haunt in chase at the top side, fully healed. And actually, Moth is actually going to go back towards the bottom side, knowing that Note is injured down here, trying to pressure this generator. We're going to see Victor threaten to use the dash. I think Note just ran into the basement, though. Very smart play, just stalling Moth out so hard. Getting so much distance between him and the other generator that the other survivors are probably slamming at this point. He's kind of scared of a head-on, but is going to get the pull onto Note here in the basement. And we're going to have to choose to go for a basement hook here, but that is just so much time wasted from Note. Note is dead, but those survivors are likely on that topside generator just slamming it out. And Moth is actually going to send Victor out with the increased speed from Victor. And the size of this map, this could be a tag here on the survivors. No, they get the generator in time. Wispy is going to go down, but Haunt quickly kicks Victor and is going to maybe get out of there. I don't know if he's going to go for the pickup on Wispy or not. Moth is going to be going over there to the downed survivor, though. And we will have to see if Haunt is able to stealth things out. It's not quite able to find Haunt in this area. Haunt doing an excellent job just not getting found here. Moth going to be sending out Victor. Might be using him as a satellite with the usage of that Killer Instinct. Going to be putting him at the top side here. Actually, we're just going to be... Nope. There is the Killer Instinct, and we do actually see that Haunt is in this locker here. Moth is going to be faking like he doesn't know, but the Killer Instinct revealing them in the locker is just all that we have here. So that is going to be the 4K1 secured from the new twins. Very well played from the survivors, though. You can see that they were very good about teamwork, and things are going on. All the like pickups, super well coordinated. And yeah, that's going to be our first match here on the showcase. Just showing the power of twins. Like, before, I don't think twins was expected anywhere close to this. And they had to be placed on much more generous maps for their power. So do stick around. We're going to have more maps coming up. I believe we have 5 matches total for this showcase. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you very soon. Hello everybody, welcome back to the arcade. We do have the twin showcase going on, X9 versus the Lonely Moth, showcasing the strength of this newly reworked killer. Many people I've seen speculate they're S tier, they're A tier, they're overhyped, etc, etc. So let's just see what they can do up against a coordinated team. And what better team than X9, very good team, winning the Hens tournament recently. That is going to be a tag here onto Wispy, and that is going to lead to them being injured. And then we're also going to have a chase here onto Jaw. Wispy going to just immediately crush Victor, not going to hold them hostage, as the recall window is now very, very generous in the current patch. That is going to be a reset coming through, but that is actually going to lead to Note getting tagged by Victor as well. So unfortunately the reset was not able to be completed. And now we have 2 injuries on the board. Again, we have the Thanatophobia in the build, and that is just going to slow down the very little gen progress it seems we already have, because that was 3 survivors in that reset. That is going to be Jaw found again, but we're actually going to find Note here in the locker. Going to be stalling out. Ooh, very good on Jaw to take the hit. It stalls out the down on Note, and Note is not going to have to force locker, is instead going to be running towards the corner here. Just going to be dying in a place as far away from the generators as possible. We know that that gen down there at the bottom side by Shack was being worked earlier. Let's see if the survivors are able to complete it. We do have Agitation here to assist us in getting to that potential Scourge Hook. And that is going to be the Scourge Hook coming through. So no generators have popped just yet, thanks to the power of Agitation. That is going to be Victor sent out and just kind of placed there, looking out around the main building. Probably going to... Ooh, actually we do find Jaw here. This might be a quick tag. Jaw doing a very good job of being unpredictable. Is going to eat that tag though. And that's one less survivor that can actually come for the save. Meanwhile, the survivors are likely going to be finishing that bottom side generator. Jaw actually ran towards the top side. And Moth knows this and is going to be patrolling for him up here. This might open up some room in order for X9 to get the save onto Note. Jaw is going to force the down by working the generator here, and that is actually going to be the save coming through. Now we do know that Note has the endurance effect. Right now Victor can actually attach onto the survivor while the endurance effect is going on, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So now Victor is attached to Note while he is mending, and we're actually going to go over here and get the pickup onto Jaw. But that is going to be the very first gen popped. And Moth is actually going to drag Jaw over to this corner hook, which is not a pain res, it looks like. No gens were regressed from it. A stack did not go away. But this is much deeper into the map than that pain res hook, and might be much more difficult for the survivors to pressure it. Additionally, we do see that Moth is here, going to be finding our tunnel out here onto Note. Note is actually going to get tagged by Victor, does not quite jump into the locker in time. Looked like some ping issue there, but Moth is kind of content holding this topside 3 generator setup in the carnival and doing a very good job of pressuring cross with Victor. Is able to just kind of stay next to this hook and proxy camp it there, pressuring anyone from being able to unhook it while sending Victor out, preparing for the cross. That is going to be Wispy coming through though while they are in the animation. Moth is going to get the tag here. That is going to be mending as well onto Jaw. And we have to wonder what is going to happen. Moth is trying to cut Jaw off here. Is going to get the down here. Very good Victor placement. Able to cut Jaw off from the escape. And we do still have the injured Wispy somewhere in the area, most likely. And I think Moth realizes that. Is going to find the blood trail. Does not see the scratch marks. Good pallet drop here. Is going to stall out the time for this down. Very good use of that L wall. And that is actually going to be the down. Very good read from Moth onto Wispy. And Moth once more. Here's the generator progress here at main. Knows that they're either in main or going for that save. Is going to actually go back towards the down Jaw. And yeah, now we have a down survivor. We're actually going to check the locker for maybe a head-on save. But however, Victor would have actually revealed that. So, but Wispy is now no longer on the ground, just as I opened my mouth. But we do see 2 injured survivors along with Jaw being placed back on this deep hook right here. Again, not a pain res. So this is just regression that is not happening. But in return, we get a much more macro-friendly hook, and we do see quite a bit of progress here on this generator. Meanwhile, Moth has sent Victor out to try to find a reset, is going to go back towards the area that Wispy was downed at, is not going to find anyone, finds a vaulting survivor over here in the area. Very good window play from the survivors. You do not get into chase up against Victor, so you are able to just kind of spam those window vaults. Does kind of catch Note out, however, trying to get that crush. But Note taking that hit is actually going to give a lot of room for Wispy to come in, get that save. And Moth is going to have to commit to this tunnel out. We do know that DS is in play. We don't know who, I don't know which survivor has it. But Jaw is now going to be injured, and Moth is actually going to send Victor out towards the other survivors. Is going to get the last injury onto Haunt, getting 4 stacks of Thanophobia going on. However, Wispy does reset in the meantime, and that is a very progressed generator. Very little regression coming through this game. Only 1 pain res hook used. And Moth is actually choosing to kind of proxy camp this generator. Very smart play by Wispy here, forcing the locker. Cannot get the slug train rolling if you have to go pick. And that is going to be a hook onto Wispy. This could be a pain res, and that is just what Moth needed to stall these survivors out. That generator had so much progress on it. And this other generator over here in this tile also had progress on it, and Moth is going to go investigate, placing Victor down, getting that killer instinct going. But with the faster swap speeds, Moth is actually able to capitalize on that information much more easily than before. And that's going to actually lead to Note getting tagged. Meanwhile, the save does come through onto Wispy. Moth is going to go for the injury onto Wispy, getting that deep wounds in, making it harder to reset. Meanwhile, Haunt has been reset in the meantime, and Jaw is now healthy as well, so limiting that Thanatophobia value. And without that tunnel out, it's going to be very, very hard to get any more stall going. But Note is going to be going down here with Victor's pounce. But very good death spot from Note as well. Very off in the corner. And with these generators so heavily progressed, this could mean outs. Note is going to be laid on the ground while Moth is going to vault the window into the main building, trying to confuse Jaw. Very good mind game here. A little bit of the stutter bug that we've seen. But now we are going to see Moth use that Victor positioning, cutting off Jaw from the vault. And it's going to lead to yet another tag. Instantly crushing Victor, however. And now Jaw is going to be in chase at the bottom side of this map. Jaw is on Death Hook. This is the tunnel out, and Jaw is doing a very good job preventing this M1 killer from getting that down. However, it kind of gets caught out here on the rotation. Wispy coming through for a body block. Moth is going to get the down with Victor instead, but Jaw very smartly dies under the pallet with Wispy nearby. And this just leads... Oh, very good tag onto Wispy, but is it enough to prevent the pallet save? Wispy's pressuring this so hard, trying to get his teammates to be able to reset and get gen pressure. Is not going to get the pallet stun, just a very short amount too early. And that is going to lead to Jaw dying on a pain res hook. Very much needed regression here from Moth. And now we still see that 2 survivors are injured, and Haunt is somewhere on the map healthy. This generator that once had the most progression in the game is now reduced to under half, and Moth is forced to go find the reset, which he finds Wispy in the middle of Carnival, very far away from Charlotte though. And with the kick here from Note, this could lead to a very difficult situation where Moth is not able to capitalize off that down whatsoever. Moth is going to be running up towards the top side of the map here into the Carnival, finding our survivors, and Note is not able to pick Wispy up in time, and Moth is just going to camp Wispy with Charlotte, meanwhile getting the down here with Victor. Very good play here from Moth using the twins power, but Wispy does get picked up by Haunt. Very smart play to come through during that chase, and that is going to be yet another injury, and that is 2 survivors injured with 1 on the ground, and Note, I believe, is Death Hook as well. Moth is going to go and use that slug's pressure, looking for the reset that's coming through, is going to find Haunt here at the TNL walls. Very good vault from Haunt. The Victor Pounce does not quite land. Instead, we're going to be running around this tile and catching Haunt out at the bottom of the map, very, very far away from Note's slug and the generators. We have to wonder what Wispy is trying to do. Wispy was pressuring this generator, has been found by Victor, and this could be the last down of the game, leading to the 4K1. That is going to be the last down. Very well played from the survivors. However, that last 3-gen scenario just very immaculately played by Moth, getting those necessary injures, getting those necessary downs, getting the pressure from the slugs. One very strong result of 4K1 on Father Campbell's Chapel. This map is typically a tad more survivor-sided. So, very interesting play from the survivors here. But that is going to be the match here on Father Campbell's. We are going to have 3 other maps played by Moth here up against X9. So do please stick around and keep watching. Thank you all. And we will see you very, very soon. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the arcade for the Twins showcase between X9 and the Lonely Moth. We have the Twins, the brand new reworked Twins on Suffo 1 here. And we're going to just see how this game fares compared to the last one. So far, Moth has been able to get out a 4K1 in every match. Oh wait, I think the Cold Tower is actually 4K2. But we do see a chase here from note around this filler here. That is going to be a tag with Victor. Just very strong part of the Twins' power, Victor. And now Moth has access to Twins, or to Victor even more with the rework. So we do see two survivors down here trying to pressure this 3-gen that is open. We do know that this map is very known for its macro play around the 3-gens, and that is going to be an M1 tag onto Wispy. And Moth is likely going to send out Victor here for the easy quick down. It's actually going to... Oh no, we're actually going to see... Oh, I'm wrong yet again. Very patient from Wispy trying to get the pallet drop. However, it does not connect, and now Victor is free to go and pressure Jaw as well as the down. Very good patience here from Moth getting that tag onto Jaw. And Wispy is down here under this pallet. Moth a little bit hesitant to pick right away. That is going to be the pickup. We don't hear any footsteps in the meantime. And if this is a pain res hook, that progress that they got on this bottom side with the 3-gen, that's going to hurt. And that is going to be the pain res, just getting rid of so much progress here on the bottom side. I don't actually think it hit either of these two generators though. And Moth realizes that is going to be sending Victor out towards the middle of the map. The firecracker trying to be used. Jaw is going to get tagged though. And yeah, we see so much progress on this generator already, but that is going to be Moth's 3-gen of choice, going to be defending this bottom side, and so far, no resources have been used on the bottom side. We just saw that one pallet dropped at the top side, so this is going to be very interesting to see how the survivors react. This top middle gen is quite progressed, but that is going to be a tag onto Haunt with Victor, and that is going to give Note plenty of room to come for the save here. And that is going to be all 4 survivors injured. That Thanatophobia yet again coming through, getting that 20% slowdown since no survivor is currently being reset. We're going to see Moth drop Victor down, going to be playing the shack pallet here. And this is very dangerous. Ooh, super close. Ooh. And with that vault from Wispy, that's actually going to be Victor crushed due to the fact that he was on top of the pallet. But Victor's going to be set out yet again. Will he get this snipe? No, very good pathing here from Wispy. And is it going to go down into the middle of the map? But yeah, that's a lot of progress here on this generator that Moth is able to find, and Wispy is now in the middle of the map, going to be picked up. Do we see a save coming through? Very smart angle, not giving them the opportunity to get a flashlight save. But yeah, that is going to be a hook right next to this very progressed generator. The survivors have only completed 1 generator in response, and that is yet another tag onto Haunt, leaving all 4 survivors injured. Again, stacking that Thanatophobia up towards the top side. But now the injured Jaw is going to be found here at the shack. Shack pallet already dropped. Very strong tile though, and Moth does not want to commit, is instead going to go back towards the hook and try to get pressure from the tags. With all survivors injured, getting a save onto Wispy is very hard. But the survivors here are still trying to pressure it. They do not want Wispy dead at 4 gens. However, that is going to be a down onto Jaw, followed by a down onto Haunt, and that is 2 survivors down. And we see Victor coming out with Charlotte standing on the slugs. The pallet is dropped here, but a very clean jump from Victor is going to lead to a down onto Wispy, the tunnel out. And Moth is going to be collecting his slugs. And this is all at 4 generators. That is a pain res hook. And now the injured Note is found. I think Note's just giving up, though. That is going to be a 4K at 4 here for the Twins on the Suffocation Pit. Wow. That pounce was crucial there in getting this slug train going. And I think it was a risk that X9 had to take getting that unhooked. They could not afford to lose a player on Suffo Pit at 4 generators. But yet, at the end of the day, that risk was very unfortunate and did not quite pay out. Because now we have all survivors on the hook at 4 generators. This is going to be the death here onto Wispy once Wispy is found. Wispy doing a good job of hiding, though. Moth is unable to find him anywhere in the area. Going to be checking the obscure areas of the bottom side here. But yeah, just showing the power of the Twins here. Utilizing the Thanatophobia to great effect. All survivors being injured. We are going to find Wispy here at the top side, trying to throw off Moth with their positioning, but Moth does find them, and that is going to be the last hook, securing that 4K4. Very strong performance from the Twins. I mean, you can just see the changes, how they've lent to the power increase, why people are saying Twins is S tier. I've seen some tier lists place Twins higher than Nurse, which is crazy to think about. But let's continue to see if that is true. Please stick with us. Thank you all for watching. I'm your caster Tyro, and we will be back with future matches in just a bit. Hello everybody, welcome back to the arcade. We have the Twins showcase underway, and this is going to be the 4th match of the showcase, showcasing the Twins on Groaning 1. And right off the bat, we have a very good dodge from Note here at the pallet, and that is going to result in Victor getting kicked. But that is a resource in the middle of the map gone very, very quickly. And Moth is going to go ahead and break it as well. Is going to be looking for the survivors, knows that they probably spawned in the deep pocket over here, and is going to be looking for the... Ooh, very good gen pressure already. Going to be popping one in the corner very, very quickly before a down or a tag even comes through. And Wispy doing a good job playing around that rock, just denying Victor's pounce as long as possible. That is going to be a tag, though, onto Wispy, leaving him injured. And the chase on a teammate is going to commence. But with Victor's recall being so low, Moth is back into the chase very, very quickly. Saw the killer instinct in the area, knows that Wispy is here, and that is going to be a very quick pre-drop on the Shaq pallet from Wispy. Going to be broken here, and now Shaq is blocked off by Charlotte. Going to chase Wispy around this God Filler. That is going to be the down with the Victor pounce. Very well played for Moth here in order to get that down. And Wispy is going to be laying on the ground. Meanwhile, this generator nearby is being progressed. And we do see a little bit of a switch up here from the survivors. Or from the killer. We do see, instead of Corrupt, we see a Ruin, which is a very interesting choice. Probably led to why the survivors were able to pop that first and so quickly. But now we do see that hook coming through on the side here. The generator popping right before the pain res is able to be applied. And now we have 3 generators with only 1 hook. And so far, it looks like Suffo 1 is a very, very good map for the Twins, if you are the survivors. That is going to be a tag onto Note. Jaw is also injured, and our last healthy survivor was spotted on the rotation. And Moth is going to try to get that last tag in order to keep that Thanatophobia stacked. The gen progress low. However, across the map, we do see those resets coming through. The Force Penance, though, is going to mean that Note has to stay injured. And Moth is just continuously gaining distance on both the survivor in that pocket, as well as keeping his eye on the rotations for the unhook. Is going to be trying to get Wispy to second stage here. Going to be swapping back to Victor, bringing him a little bit closer, but Jaw pressuring the unhook. That is going to be Ruin cleansed. However, Ruin has already been doing a lot of damage here with those resets coming through. And Victor's just getting closer and closer to that hook. And I think I know what Moth is trying to go for here, trying to get that injury to where Jaw is not able to get that unhook. But with Wispy going second, Jaw might have abandoned that altogether and is now just slamming gens with his teammates. And Moth is just constantly patrolling, does see Jaw yet again here, and this might be an M1 hit, but Moth actually does not commit, just wants to confirm this kill onto Wispy so badly. And Jaw realizes that and is just going to come in for a trade, just stalling it out to the last second. But rather than get a trade, Moth is going to go straight for the tunnel out. Victor already positioned to where Wispy's cut off. Jaw unable to get the body block. Oh, this is going to be crucial. Does get the down onto Wispy. That is going to be a kick from Jaw, and now Moth is going to be going to claim his prize with the downed Wispy here. Wispy's going to be picked up. We do not see the DS on Wispy, and that is going to be a death here at 3 generators. 2 generators. Very good gen pressure here from the survivors. But still, this is a very tricky situation. The generator here at the bottom side also was being worked on. We saw that earlier. And Haunt is just going to be forcing... Ooh, very good play from Moth here. Not going to grab immediately, is instead going to get Charlotte some distance, but Haunt uses that distance in order to pop the generator. We only have 1 generator remaining. We can no longer have a fully stacked Thanatophobia, giving that 20% speed slow, which means that the generators could very well fly from this point forward. We are going to see the reset interrupted here, and it looks like Note is going to be in chase around this eye filler. Again, using the power of the firecracker. However, it is not enough, is actually going to go down. And Moth has to be super wary about these generator placements. Is going to send Victor over. Oh, excuse me. Going to send Victor over to the shack where he does find the injured Haunt. And is going to be chasing Haunt away. Ooh, a very good firecracker as well. However, again, it is not enough. Haunt is going to be on the ground, and now Jaw is the only player standing. And guess what? We see Jaw right here getting the pickup, going to be taking a hit for his teammate most likely, but that is going to lead to all the survivors injured yet again, and we have to see what Moth is able to do with Victor placed down there by the slug. And these 2 survivors up here injured. We do see that Note tries to get the reset. However, the Victor placement is very, very strong. And that is going to lead to Note getting back on the ground. Moth going to be playing around the main building. Sees Jaw here. And that is going to be yet another cut off with the Victor. And the Victor placement this game winds up wrapping things up with a very, very good 4K1 comeback from Moth. And you can just see how important that 4v1 is. I mean, once the 3v1 happened with that tunnel out, things were looking pretty bad for the killer, but due to the fact that Moth was able to cover 2 areas at once and get that slug train going, it just led to this amazing result. That is going to be the 3rd hook, and here we will see Jaw come through for the 4th hook, securing that 4K1. And wow, just incredible performance from Moth here, getting that value from the Thana early on, getting all that pressure from the tunnel out. And even though the survivors did a good job in, stalling that tunnel out and getting the gen pressure down to 1 generator, once those injuries start rolling with Victor, you can just see how potent this killer is. And against one of the most prolific teams out there, even they will struggle against that 10-second recall timer. I understand that it's bugged, but still, That is a very strong killer. But yeah, we're going to wait here for Haunt to die on the hook. Just amazing play from Moth, though. Yet again, capitalizing on those injuries. And you can just see with all those injuries how fast they come out from the Twins' power. It's incredible. Very scary killer to look out for. Gonna be very interesting if things stay that way, but we're gonna go to the final map here. And then we will see just what will happen. So please stay tuned, stick around, and thank you all for watching. All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Twins Showcase here. We have X9 going up against the Lonely Moth, and Moth has shown what you can do up against even the best teams in the world with this killer. Just amazing results all around. And now we are here on the Azarov's resting place, a very staple map in the traditional Twins matchup. But let's see how things go with the new Twins. That is going to be a very quick injury onto Jaw with the Victor power. And now we are going to see the blind come through, stalling out any potential hits. Good use of the crane pallet. And now we see Victor going to be going up towards the top side of the map here, going to be finding Haunt, trying to sneak around towards this generator. That is going to be a lie down towards the cross. However, that is going to be a cutoff, and Haunt is forced to play the top side of the map where lots of the generators are. And Haunt is going to be pre-dropping this pallet, but Victor is going to come out and deny the resources anyway. The firecracker is used. However, very good patience from Moth is going to lead to a down onto Haunt here at the top side of the map, where it looks like we have a 5-gen split. Very, very fun RNG for X9 here. Just crazy gen spawns. But yeah, dying up here on the top side is going to be very, very rough on the survivors. However, the survivors realize that, try to get the flashlight save. However, it is not enough. Moth was positioned just a little bit to where that wasn't an angle, and that is going to be a hook deep into the top side of the map. And we'll have to see what the survivors are able to do here. I expect a very fast pull with some sort of escort towards the middle of the map, but Moth is going to be pressuring these generators as well. The survivors might be able to use that distance in order to get that unhook and get the tunnel out target safely away. But Moth doing a very good job protecting that cross with Victor, as well as just, you know, utilizing Charlotte to patrol the hook and pressure anything that might come to try to get that save. And Haunt is just hanging here for his life. The survivors unable to get that save safely against the strong Twins. Very weird to think that, how good Twins are now. But while Moth was swapped to Victor, we do see the unhook coming through before the second stage. But Victor is here in order to cut off Haunt from that escape towards the bottom side of the map. However, they do let Haunt get to the pallet. That is going to be a death under the pallet. A generator popping across the map. We see 2 sets of Killer Instinct here, which is going to let Moth know that someone is ready for the save. Let's see if Victor's... Yeah, we do see Wispy here kind of caught out in the open, going to get tagged by Victor. However, Moth is going to be trying to get this unhook, but the teammates are here to prevent it. And this is just buying so much time for them to actually pick up Haunt and make that distance down towards the bottom side. That's going to be a tag here. No, it is not actually going to get the hit, but that body block is crucial. Moth is unable to get the distance onto Haunt. And it looks like we're going to see more body blocks coming through. Wispy going to go down, and the kick coming through from Haunt. Very good teamwork here, just denying the tunnel out as from happening as soon as possible. Wispy not quite able to get picked up, but Moth is not going to go for the tag onto Note. One thing to note is that if the tag were to come through, the Force Penance would also apply, making any hit tanks even harder to take. But it does look like Haunt is just going to jump into the locker and force the pull on the top side of the map anyway. But we do actually see the firecracker. Wait, it doesn't work. Wait, what? That's crazy. It blinded, but didn't blind at the same time. Was that a bug? Unreal 5, everybody. But yeah, we do see the injured Wispy here, broken from the Force Penance, caught at the crane. That is going to be a missed jump, actually. But Wispy's unable to quite make the kick. Instead, the unhook is going to come through onto Haunt. But we have to wonder where the generator pressure is, because they've been focusing so much on these saves and have been interrupted by the speed of Victor. Victor's just so fast compared to the all the killers in the roster, and they're doing such a good job of protecting Haunt here. Oh, but the pounce does come through, but they do try to get the double heal off. Are they able to get it in time with the reset perks available? No, the reset doesn't come through, and Haunt is unable to get saved. The flashlight save is not there. And that is going to be Haunt dead. However, we do see that they are now at 2 generators. The survivors have been slowly pecking away at those generators as well. They're going to be camping the pallet, and it's not quite enough. However, Moth once more is going to use Victor across the map. Oh, excuse me again. Very good dodge from Jaw here. Can he get the kick in time? No, he's not going to get the kick in time. We do see Note and Jaw both working on this generator in tandem with Wispy on the ground. Jaw is going to get out of there, though, running towards the top side of the map, maybe rotating for a potential pickup if Moth overcommitted to that chase. But that is going to be a pickup onto Wispy, not going to give the survivors time to maybe get a save off. But yeah, Moth is going to be carrying them, and that is a pain res hook. That is devastating for the survivors. All that progress that they were fighting for tooth and nail just stripped away. And now we're going to see Victor sent out yet again. And this is an interesting scenario for the killer. I mean, we have a target that is basically downed by jumping into the locker, as well as the tunnel out being unhooked. And it looks like they're going to go for Note instead. Note managing to get out of the locker and take an M1 hit instead of getting grabbed. That is very crucial and buys their team so much time in order to get as many generators done as possible. However, the vault does not quite make it, and Note does go down, and that is going to be probably yet another pain res hook. We're going to go straight back to that pain res hook at the top, getting more regression going. That is the pain res, and that is the scream from Jaw, who is working a generator. Moth is going to send out Victor back towards this generator that had the most progress, and Jaw is forced to play around it. However, the unhook is coming through from Wispy onto Note, and now the chase is going to commence onto Wispy around this pallet. Chase not quite starting. Jaw is able to break Victor, as well as Wispy's able to make it towards the center of the map here, making so much distance. Moth doing a good job of just putting Victor zoning away from those lockers. Very good positioning here. But Moth is going to go back up towards Jaw, working on that generator. Jaw going to be playing this like an M1 chase, but that Victor recall means that Victor is back in action right now. We're going to see the vault blocked by Charlotte. Victor back out onto the map, going to get that down onto Jaw right next to the generator with all this progress. Meanwhile, Wispy is reset, but Note is still injured from that Force Penance. Very strong perk on Twins Force Penance. That is going to be an injury onto Wispy again. And now with 3 survivors injured, and Jaw going to be picked up here at the top side of the map. with the 4th Scourge Hook in play, mind you. We don't actually see that Scourge Hook coming through. Instead, that's just going to be a normal hook. And Moth is going to send out Victor at lightning speeds yet again, looking for the reset. Just very strong play from Moth here, just denying any progress on the generators with the killer. This 5-gen scenario proving to be a very difficult one up against this strength of a killer. And the survivors are trying all that they can. The snipe not quite coming through. That is going to be the kick onto Victor, and that might be the pickup onto Note. We had 3 people there in that area. Moth is going to be heading there in the Charlotte, going to be making that vault. Note is picked up, but that is probably just going to be a read-down immediately. And now we see Wispy and Jaw cut off in the area, going to be running towards the edge map. But Moth getting a very good down onto Jaw. However, the kick is going to come through. And Note, Wispy not able to pick Note up. However, Moth kind of swinging and missing there on Wispy. Wispy's going to try to bait out this window, play this window, but that is going to be a pickup onto Jaw. With no agitation. Oh, actually gets the tag onto Wispy, downing him, and that is going to be a 4K at 2 generators, unless the hooks are positioned in a unadvantageous way for Moth here. So, wow. I just remember old Twins sets seeing a twin on twins on ARP, and they just kind of get like rolled half the time. Very good shift in power dynamic. I mean, new twins looks very menacing to face, even up against like the best team in the world here. So very well played for Moth. I think Moth is setting out Victor. Oh, I see what he's doing. In case there's a wiggle out, which no, Note is not even going to try to wiggle out. But in case there was, Moth was positioning Victor in a way in order to cut off the exit back towards the area of the map with no hook. So wow. But yeah, very strong map setup here. Very hard map scenario for a multitude of killers. I mean, I've seen much weaker killers able to get results like this on 5-gen. But with the power of twins shown here as well, I mean, they were just able to capitalize on it very, very well. But yeah, I think that's the last map of the showcase. So thank you all for joining. Thank you for watching. I hope that this was entertaining, seeing the strength of the new twins. Apparently that is a bug with the charge time, so we'll have to see where they fall once the recharge time comes through. But until then, I hope that you will join us next time. Please join our Discord to be, informed of any events that we got coming up. And we got quite a bit of cool stuff coming up, so please stay plugged in. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Appreciate all of you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and we will see you next time.